everybody, and welcome back to Shadows over Ravenloft. It's been a while, but announcements before we begin. We have a podcast, Mix of Monstrosities, obviously, up on iTunes and Apple Music and Spotify. So if you look us up, you can find us there. And you can get caught up to where we are currently, Beneath the Tide. All 52 episodes are now up on the podcast network. So you can get caught up when we return to Beneath the Tide next Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can see what's been being planned behind the scenes with certain individuals, and it's going to be a good time. Probably a shopping episode, but it's going to be a fun shopping episode, most likely. And then next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we're still doing our string of one-shots before we start the next campaign, hopefully in April. It all depends on how things go. That campaign is going to be the Wednesday 7 p.m. slot, Legends of Wildmount. We're going to be using the Wildmount campaign setting book from Critical Role. But next week, we're running a one-shot in that slot once again, like we did last night. We're doing a one-shot, The Tomb of Horrors. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Everyone's rolling up under-leveled characters for it. And basically, whoever has the least amount of deaths is going to win a little prize that I have purchased on DM's Guild. A little D&D book. So,
I mean, we should definitely have one for the most deaths and the least deaths.
Sure, why not? Why not? And that's going to be the Uncaged Anthology. Probably all of the current volumes of it. Volumes 1 to 4. So that'll be a fun little giveaway. 4 little books to give away. It's got a lot of cool adventures in it. If you don't know what the Uncaged Anthology is, check it out on DM's Guild. It's a lot of monsters that have been kind of reimagined. I think it's mostly female monsters that have been reimagined, so it's not they don't come from like a sexist, weird kind of background like banshees and whatnot. Because banshees, if you look at the banshees stuff in D&D, they're kind of problematically designed in some of their stuff. Check it out. That'll be what I'll be probably doing as the giveaway. So yeah, person who has most deaths next week, and the person who has the least amount of deaths are going to get some cool D&D prizes, which is fun. Hopefully we'll be back with Soldiers of the Lich Queen this Sunday. Yeah. So without further ado, last we left off, you guys regrouped with Bernard after he got his... Well, no, that was all last session, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You guys hung out in a tavern, basically, after Ophelia burned down a building, and with people inside. And you guys took your carriage, went to the settlement nearby, and hung out in a tavern for most of the episode. And there was arm wrestling going on. It was a tavern full of lichens.
Bernard paid for everybody's drinks.
Yeah, I paid for everybody's drinks. And had some arm wrestling going on. And because of his arm wrestling and how good he was at it, Bernard got laid, maybe?
Yeah, fade to black, essentially.
Yeah.
We're good. I rolled stats on what happened.
Rolled real good.
Everything was very great.
Natural 20s. And in the morning, Ophelia was waiting for Bernard by the carriage. Party got on the carriage, obviously. Kind of talked about things, what that happened. Filled Una in on some things. Yes, I believe. And upon kind of... I don't remember a lot of what happened. Upon entering the carriage, you guys kind of heard this individual kind of laughing to themselves in the dining room. And encountered a strange elf-looking individual wearing a porcelain mask that kind of that was devoid of features. And this individual revealed themselves to be called Nemselis Kazam. If you read that name backwards, you might get a little Easter egg. And he basically sent the party back in time to the beginning of the dread domain of Ravenloft to seal away the dark powers and learn the ritual of doing so they can free everybody from Ravenloft. Upon arriving back in time, he mentioned that he'll be back for them in a day, or by dawn, and if they weren't there, if the ritual wasn't completed in time, they would be stuck in Ravenloft, much like old Philia was. The party talked about what they were going to do, how this ritual would work, and discovered the wizards were never showing up. And after looking at a strange kind of tablet built into the wall, the party deduced that they're the wizards who originally sealed away the dark powers through time travel shenanigans, and they were always destined to kind of end up here to do this. After having a brief discussion on Nesla wanting to stay behind after the ritual was complete, the party all touched the amber sarcophagi lying around, and everything went dark and a storm began to brew, and these dark shadows came swirling into the amber temple and into the sarcophagi, and everyone fell to the ground, seemingly unconscious. And I will get the music playing real quick. And Bernard and Ophelia got rid of her arm of Tenebris that she had on her.
Oh yeah, that was a big one.
And now
I think a couple of us got.
And now her eyes are all just like green flames.
Everything's fine. Don't worry.
I imagine she has a whole bunch of negatives and no positives now.
You know, we're only looking at the positives.
Yeah.
It's good vibes only.
Yeah. Good vibrations. We also went to a store and bought some stuff too.
You did.
I guess. Yeah.
But
used some of that gold that we had.
You were all floating what appears to be a black void space. Mist swirling all around you. You feel unattached to your bodies, and a form of peace takes you. This is most certainly death. But there's something different to it. Something good. Something structured. This was meant to be. You were all meant to do this. Everything is right. Everything feels right. You don't see one another. You're all alone. But there's no dread, fear, or terror. This is right. Then, each of you, wherever you may be, see a vivid series of flashing white lights. And you each find yourselves in a new environment, still very much separated from one another. And let me just change the music real quick. Bernard, you see yourself standing in a grand library, one specifically dedicated to Ioun. Her iconography plastered all over the walls. Other individuals stroll about, looking through books, all of them wearing white robes emblazoned with the symbol of Ioun, a great eye plastered across the front of their garments. And they're just moving about, keeping to their own business. This place is wonderful. As you glance around, one of these robed individuals approaches you. They have brilliant blonde hair tied neatly into a bun, with vibrant, almost glowing skin and beautiful blue eyes. The woman smiles at you and gestures towards a set of grand doors nestled into the northernmost walls of this room. A massive symbol of Ioun carved into the stone doors themselves, the symbol itself glowing a deep blue. And as she gestures towards these doors, they open.
Thank you. Where am I?
You're in the Grand Arcanum of Ioun, nestled in Mount Celestia.
Oh, I'm no longer in Ravenloft?
This is your afterlife, Bernard.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And he just walks to the doors.
Okay, and yeah, the doors are open. And as you kind of approach the room, beyond the doors, you see a beautiful woman nearly reaching up to the 30-foot high ceiling and adorned in brilliant white robes that seem to shimmer as if nestled in persistent daylight. She has long blonde hair cascading down her back that seems to almost become part of her robes, but you can't really tell. And on her forehead is a vibrant blue glowing eye.
Hello?
Hello, Bernard.
What do I do? What do I do? What am I doing here?
This is your afterlife, Bernard.
Right.
This is where you can stay if you'd like.
Okay. Hold on. We were trying to free the.
What's it called? We were calling it the Dread Domain, or what's it?
It's also known as the Dread Domain, Ravenloft. It has numerous
Okay.
names. Yeah.
We're trying to free the Dread Domain, and from what I know, anybody who died there was stuck there. Their souls were stuck. So, the fact that I'm here, does that mean we were successful?
No.
How did I get here? How did I get out?
Something must have broken through the divine gate and brought you here. I don't know where your friends are, but this is where. I guess this is where you're meant to be.
Have I done good?
As good as anyone. But
what can I do to?
and
Sorry.
she glides forward and kind of changes her shape to match your size and height. She gets down into your face and says, "I do sense corruption in you, Bernard."
Right. I accepted something or asked for something, thinking that it would bring me closer to your tenets of attaining knowledge and sharing it with others.
And that was...
No secrets.
She nods. Unfortunately, they've bound themselves to you now.
Oh, is this... I should get out of here then. I don't want to corrupt this place.
Oh, it's fine. The dark powers don't have any sway over me. I'm a goddess. What are they to me?
I don't know.
And she places your head in her hands. You can stay if you'd like, or you can return and be my champion and free the peoples of Ravenloft.
I need to go back to. I don't know where my friends are. If they come back, I need to be there for them.
They have their own tests ahead of them, just like you.
Well, I'm pretty sure some of them will pass their tests. Some of them might have a bit of trouble though. Yeah, I will. Yes, I will return if you deem me suitable.
Alright, this way. And she turns and kind of starts gliding down this corridor.
And he'll straighten up his back, take a deep breath, or I guess what would be equivalent of that in spirit form.
And yes, it's Mount Celestius, so it is. You see lots of celestials, angels. And yeah, you can easily put the pieces together. You're for sure deceased at the moment.
Yeah. So am I just kind of in like a ghostly form, or do I
Essentially.
have like my interpretation of armor?
It's
or
like
is
your
it
it's like your interpretation, but you're definitely not corporeal.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And
Yeah, I follow her.
Yeah, okay. And that'll bring us to Ophelia. You, again, the same thing, black void space, and you know you're dead. And you wake in a house. It's familiar. It's your home, wherever that may be. and it's empty. Like, the furniture's there and everything, but you're usually used to hearing, your family talking, shouting, laughing, but it's just silent.
She's gonna explore the house. See
Okay.
if it really is empty.
The bedrooms where your children sleep, no furniture whatsoever. Completely just empty, devoid of anything. You go to your room that you share with your husband, and it's just a single bed.
Hello?
No answer.
She's gonna go outside.
Okay. You go outside, and it looks like you remember every detail. The surroundings look the same, they haven't changed.
Hello? Is anyone there?
And still silence.
Anyone? Any god? Tenebris even? Is anyone there?
Hello. And you hear a voice, and it sounds like it's coming from the back of the house, like the backyard outside.
She'll move towards it.
Okay. There's an individual kind of sat under a tree, leaning against it, their eyes closed. Long black hair, a robe that looks like it's made of raven feathers. Beautiful, just elven-looking woman, and she's just sitting there. There's a tiara on her head. The tiara looks like it's made of raven skulls. And she's just sitting there, her eyes closed, and behind the tree you see gravestones.
What are you?
She opens her eyes, and they're just pure white. I am who they call, well, the Raven Queen.
And what do you want with me?
A chat.
Well, I am all ears. What do you want to talk about?
How do you feel
Right now?
right now, always?
Scared, powerful. Depends on the moment, really.
I assume you know what state you're in currently.
Death.
And she nods. As are your friends.
Did we do it? Did we
Partially.
seal them away?
You did when you sealed them. Partially. You were always meant to seal them back then. But the task is far from being done. You have to seal them in your time now.
It's a little hard to do that if I'm dead.
I know, but you have a choice. You don't have to. Go back and stay.
Stay here? Alone?
This isn't where you'll stay. Think of this as a test.
A test of what?
Your heart. I know. She laughs a little.
If I complete this test, will I live again?
Again, it's your choice. Do you choose the family you know or the family that's waiting?
I choose my friends. My friend, really. I choose Bernard.
Come with me. And she waves her hand, and a doorway opens up in the tree.
Ophelia will follow her.
Okay. And as you pass through, you look at the graves. You can kind of see the names etched on them, and it's your families. And she takes you into the tree.
Well, they're dead. I can't help them. Let's go.
And that'll bring us to Nesla. Same thing. Void space. And then you sort of come to. And let me just pull up my notes real quick for you, buddy. You're in an orphanage, an abandoned orphanage. It's been abandoned for quite some time. And you have come here. It's a memory. It's almost like you're reliving a memory. And you'd know this orphanage had been abandoned for maybe 20 years or so, maybe more. And you had taken a contract that had led you here. Children have been going missing all around, and you'd been brought to this place to slay said individual who was kidnapping these children. And everything looks like as it was. You can hear the screaming coming from down the hall.
Yeah, I'm reliving the memory and running towards it.
Okay. As you get down to the hall, you see 40 some odd children ranging in age between 6 and 14. And they're all screaming as they die, writhing in pain.
I'm going to just take one of them closest to me in my arms and hold them.
Okay.
Try to comfort them.
Okay. And as the child is dying in your arms, you do see their skin is quite pale, ashen almost, and a little hint of fangs. And as the child dies in your arms, there's a hand. This is different from the memory. A hand kind of touches your shoulder.
Gather myself enough to look over my shoulder.
You see what just looks like a solid black shadow standing there. wispy tendrils of shadows kind of forming a cloak behind them, and then there's like a wispy shadow-like crown on their head, and just a pair of red kind of glowing eyes. And they're just resting their hand on your shoulder. The past is the past, Nesla.
And turn back to the kid.
And they're all gone. They're disappeared. They're not there.
Stand up and look at this thing. Yes, but recent events have shown me that it doesn't have to be.
And sometimes the past has to stay in the past or alter the course of the future entirely.
Just looking at all these empty beds now. So many lives. It's my fault.
And that is true. But our mistakes make us who we are. And we can learn from them. And everyone would like the chance to erase a mistake, but if you could just go back and erase every mistake you ever made, where's the growth? Where's the lessons?
Made other mistakes.
If you alter what has made you who you are, what has brought you here today, things would change in catastrophic ways that you can't even imagine. Your friends may never have met you. You may never have come down this path that you were chosen to come down. People may die that should not have died. People may live who should not have lived. Time is not your burden to bear, Nesla.
How do we atone for our mistakes then?
Time. And trying to be the best you can be. Use the lessons that your mistakes have taught you to better yourself. I believe you've already begun walking that path with Strahd, correct?
I hope so. I hope I'm not just jaded to myself.
Without this lesson, Nesla, Strahd would have never been redeemed. Think on that for a moment. Think of all the people you may have saved and the pain and suffering you have spared individuals for believing there was some good in him. And I'd say you atoned for your mistake and you learned from it in that regard.
Start making the bed that one was in.
Okay.
So, where do we go from here?
Where you need to be.
I believe I only had one need before I got here. One task. And if I'm not going to be staying here, where's my path back? Where's my path going forward?
I'll show you the way. And he just snaps his fingers. And that's where we'll go to Una. You smell dirt and wood and sitting stagnant water.
Gonna kind of reach up, just kind of like wave my hand in the air to try to.
You hit wood.
Una just kind of just sighs, just like, here we go again. You're just gonna kind of bang on the top, try to break the wood.
It doesn't break. And you hear a voice in the coffin. And it says, "You abandoned me, Una."
Oh, good to hear you too, Saphir. How you doing, bro?
Not great.
Yeah, considering we're both in a coffin, I'm assuming. Yeah, I'd say we've seen better days.
I'm not in here. I'm just
Where are
talking
you?
to you.
So where are you then?
Dead? Just like you.
Kinda used to it at this point.
That's not normal.
Well, who said anything about this being normal, bro? And I didn't mean to abandon you, just so you know.
I know. You're supposed to come with me, the voices said.
What else did the voices say to you?
Nothing.
Alright, let's go. It's showtime. Let's do this.
And you feel hands almost phasing through the wood of the coffin. And they grab you and they pull you under.
Oh, this is so uncomfortable. I do not enjoy this.
And everything goes black. And you all see each other once again. You're all standing in a forest made of shadows and mist. You're all standing side by side, staring down a path. And ravens just make up the entirety of the canopy of this forest, swirling within the shadows. And you all look down and you're all holding glowing blue lanterns, each and every one of you.
So we look around and we can see each other.
Yeah, and you can easily tell that you're all still dead.
Oh,
Eyes, is Una still a grung when she
Oh,
kind
that's
of looks down at
right.
her arms?
Let's find out.
But she hasn't been resurrected if she's still dead, though.
Correct. For now, you look like a grung. When we come back, we shall see.
Is anything about... Because, like, Una's been dead before, and she's
Yeah.
been brought back.
Yeah.
So, does this seem like a weird amount of time for her to still be dead?
Yes.
Okay.
Bernard will just walk, run, glide over to
You still walk.
Ophelia.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he'll like hold out an arm. Like it's like a hey.
Does Ophelia have only the one arm still?
No. You have both.
No. I have both arms. Ooh, shit. That's good. She'll take the offered arm and do the little smile. Like, oh,
It's-
shit, it
it's
worked.
good. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you again. I missed you.
Yeah. I was worried about all of you. All of you.
And he'll like look around to the other two.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nesla and Una, you guys are there. You can see both of them. You can see everybody. You're all there together.
Okay. I'm gonna walk by Una, just kind of paw on the shoulder, walking towards Ophelia. Step up to you. Sorry for all the shit I gave you, and give you a big hug.
Oh, okay. Little pat on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bernard's gonna like reach down and like give him a pat on the back, like a strong pat on the back, like
Okay.
very approving pat.
Oh
Sure.
my god, the dad pat. Oh no.
Oh,
Una's gonna walk over to the group with like her lantern up, just like, I guess all my friends are dead. How does it feel that you've joined the club? Very exclusive around here.
Is all of this normal? Is this stuff that you usually go through?
Not for this long, which is kind of strange. Normally it's like, I'm dead and then I'm not. Now I know that I'm dead, and it's little weird, Bernard.
What's up with these? Do you know what these are all about?
And he holds up the lantern.
Would Una have seen this before?
no.
Your guess is as good as mine, Bernard. Normally, I don't get a light down here.
Hold mine up and try to look around.
Okay. You just see the path ahead and shadows that are making what looks like a forest.
So, if we get out of here alive, guys, and Una's gonna, like, lean up against Nesla, just like, so, we come out, we're all fine, we're not dead anymore. You think I'd look good as a, little tiefling over there, like, the good Dr. Ophelia?
I'm okay with anything but a dwarf.
I don't know. It's all. I mean, it seems kind of random. Whether you look, what you look like. Are you always feminine?
Death has a funny way of doing things, kinda whatever it's up to him.
I think you would look quite nice as little tiefling.
Aw, thanks, Doc. And Luna's gonna like give her like a little side hug.
Well, I suppose we'd better find our way through this forest here. Lot of birds.
It is funny how common the raven has been this last little bit.
And the ravens aren't cawing or anything, they're just staring.
What's the worst that could happen though? We're already dead. What are we gonna be? Super dead?
Well, I
And-
mean, we were sent here by that what is it, son of the Raven Queen? I don't know. I didn't quite catch
That's the son
everything
of the
on that.
Raven Queen. But then I saw the Raven Queen.
You did?
I met the whole family. You know?
Wow. Did they say that we're just supposed to walk down this path?
And I suppose Bunsen will just start the initial walk, and
Okay.
assuming we will just walk and talk.
Yeah, and as you guys start to approach the entrance to the forest, a figure appears out of the shadows, kind of forming from the shadows, at the entrance. Looks like a Goliath adventurer type. Throat is significantly and severely slit. And he just says, "Welcome, children." Children of the Raven Queen.
That's a new one. Gonna admit, have not heard that one before.
What? So, is Bunsen aware of, like, how shrewd the Raven Queen is about life and death, and whether or not she would allow people to come back?
You don't know much about her.
Okay, cool.
Hello. Hi. So what's next?
A test.
I'm ready. You guys ready?
As I'll ever be.
I think we have a question about these lanterns.
Yes.
Well, what are they? I mean, they seem important. We're all kind of carrying one.
They
We
house your
kinda just-
soul.
Oh wow. Okay.
If the lantern breaks and the light goes out, you're trapped.
All right. That's a bummer. Okay. Everybody, protect
The
the
lights
lanterns.
will go out in 1 hour.
Ooh.
We better get a move on then. Okay. Guys.
Well, it's time to hustle.
The first of many. And he disappears.
All right. Let's move.
Alright.
Yep. Let's go.
And stepping into the forest, there's a significant change in temperature from warm to ice cold. And you're standing in the throne room of Castle Ravenloft.
Ooh.
Do we have, seeing that we are now in Ravenloft, Bernard's gonna look around. Does he have anything to defend himself with?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Ooh.
And sitting on the throne is Strahd von Zarevich, just sitting there looking around. Not a vampire. Very much human.
So right now, essentially our, assuming, monks aside, everybody's armor class is like 10 and plus their dex, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't age anything for me, but you know.
All right.
I walk up to the throne and take a knee in front of Strahd.
Doesn't notice you. Doesn't seem like he notices any of you.
Maybe this is information gathering. Let's have a look around. And
Yes, but we cannot take too long. We only
I
have
know,
an hour.
but we need to look around to see what we need to do, though. This is a
And
test.
As you're contemplating, there's a knock on the doors leading into the throne room. And you recognize the familiar sight of Rahadin, Strahd's elf assistant, who walks in and says, "Master, I'm afraid to relay the information, but Tatiana has leapt off the tower to her death." He seems upset. And you see now, it's kind of like the more you get used to the change in scenery and everything, there's a body kind of slumped at the front of the throne, and it's a familiar looking individual that you all would have seen, well, at least two of you would have seen, when Strahd was destroyed and Irina was taken away by the spirit of his brother, Sergei, who's laying on the floor dead, drained of his blood, and Strahd's kind of holding this cup, this goblet, filled with what looks like wine, and he just drinks it.
Having a history with Strahd, would I know if this is the past? Like, would I know this story?
Surprisingly, never talked about it.
But Bernard and Ophelia know.
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah.
Not all the details, but yeah.
Yeah.
And
we when we defeated Strahd, we saw their specters.
yeah.
Yeah.
And as this happens and he drinks the goblet of blood, dark shapes begin to fill the entirety of the throne room, and they start to go into Strahd himself and start corrupting him, and you see him start to gain, his eyes kind of go from blue to yellowish vampire, and fangs start to appear, and you can tell these are the dark powers slowly corrupting him, gaining their will over him, and that the whole reason this whole thing happened, him killing his brother, Irina killing herself, was the dark powers corrupting him and twisting him and changing him. And I want to have everybody roll insight checks to see what they can learn about themselves from this.
Okay.
So 16.
Alright. Una, what'd you get?
21.
Ophelia.
7.
Okay. Bernard.
3.
3. Nesla and Una, you guys can easily kind of perceive that most of the people that are in Ravenloft that commit dark deeds, not all people, but most, a good chunk, do so at the will of the dark powers, do so because they're corrupted. And that was Strahd's curse, the dark powers corrupting him. To relive this exact moment all his life, it's why the dark powers resurrect Irina all the time as a different individual. It's why Strahd can never be killed. Because the dark powers love to torture the people they have in their midst, and the two of you are the least touched by the dark powers. You still are in some ways, you can tell, but not as much as Ophelia or Bernard.
Recognizing that, I'm going to reach up and... Do I still have no heartbeat?
Oh, of course. You're still dead. And then the scene fades and you're back in the forest. This time you're standing at a pond. And in the pond is a woman lying under the water, eyes closed, and just floating there.
Do we recognize her?
No.
Bernard will go in and try to get her out. She looks like she's just recently, like, either floating or, like, drowned or...
She disappears.
Oh no.
And she reappears, kind of walking slowly through the forest, a white gown kind of trailing behind her, and she disappears again.
Run up to the last place we saw her.
Not there.
Should we follow? I mean, I guess we should follow.
And he'll look around for any other information, anything else in the area.
Don't see anything.
Yeah, follow her.
We have no other leads.
Let's go.
And Bernard just starts walking.
Okay. And you follow her in the direction, and there's a massive... Eventually, you find yourselves looking at a massive chapel in the middle of this forest. It's run down and derelict. The doors are open. You can see kind of muddy footprints kind of making their way inside.
Hello? Hello?
He'll say at the doorway and then slowly start to walk in while looking around.
Okay. You see pews everywhere, all broken and shattered. It smells like mold and rot in here. There's a basin of water. It's murky and just filthy and stagnant. And behind that is a pedestal. Or not a pedestal, a podium, where someone would probably stand behind and give a sermon. A large stained glass window is in the very back wall, and that window is shattered into pieces on the floor. And as you walk in, you hear whispering. And looking around, you see shadowy figures just sitting in all of the pews. And there's a shadowy figure kind of behind this podium giving a sermon. But you can't hear anything but these whispers, just...
Can I tell what type of church or chapel this is? Like, to which god there?
Give me an investigation check. You kind of like look around and dig through stuff and whatnot.
Okay. Okay, 18.
18. Kind of when you approach the stained glass window, you can kind of see the iconography and the shape you saw, the avatar form of Ayun.
Oh.
And your lanterns all flare for a moment.
Yeah,
With
Bernard.
Tongue of the Sun and the Moon, would I understand what they're saying?
What? I didn't say anything with the sun or the moon. I said Ayun.
No, with my trait, Tongue of the Sun and the Moon, understand
sorry.
all languages.
No, you can't understand what they're saying. It just sounds like whisper, just incoherent, unintelligible whispering.
I think this is a Temple of Ayud. Maybe we should sit and be blessed by any information that they might be trying to tell us.
And Bernard will see if he can find a non-broken pew and have a seat.
They're all relatively broken.
Oh. Well then, he'll find a place to just kneel down and kind of reflect reverently and attempt to listen.
Alright, as you kind of sit down and attempt to listen, all the shadows disappear. And the chapel, there's like a flash of brilliant blue light coming from that basin of water. And as the light fades, it blinds you all, essentially. And then when the light fades and you all can see again, the chapel appears restored. But there's no one inside.
Well, it looks nice.
Yeah, nice.
What do you think happened?
And he'll walk over to the pedestal.
Alright, so you walk over to the podium, and there's that basin of water in front of it.
Yeah.
Nothing really noticeable on the podium or anything. There is the symbol of Ioun etched onto the front of it. But that's about it.
Okay. And he'll just kind of stand there and wait for whatever anybody else might want to do.
Okay. What's everybody else doing?
Walk over and look in the basin.
Okay. You look in the basin, and you just see yourself staring back at you in the water. That gaping chest wound you have is gone, though, in the pool.
There's one little cat finger over in it. See if it mirrors and
Yeah.
ripples and
Yeah, it does.
Bernard,
Yeah.
Bernard will go to smack his hand and be like, with reverence.
Because he's just taking a claw and like poking at
Yeah.
the water.
Yeah, the reflection does the same thing.
hold my lantern up and try to see the reflection in it.
The reflection holds the same lantern.
Seeing Nesla like looking around in the water.
Yeah.
Can Bernard have a peek?
Yeah. Bernard, you peek in. No blue flame. Red flame.
Oh.
But you have a blue flame on your head. Everyone can see it. You can tell it's still blue, but in the reflection it's not.
Ophelia. Quick.
Yes.
Come here.
Pick what?
Come here, quick.
I'll go over to Bernard and like, what? What's going on?
And he'll point to the water.
She'll look in.
You look in. Bernard's reflection looks the way it looks like to you right now. Blue flame. When you look in, your flaming green eyes are gone. And you look as you should in the reflection.
Oh.
I don't know if this means we should... I'm a little nervous about, like, dunking our lanterns in there. That's water, and these seem to be kind of spiritual flames.
How deep is the basin?
It's about just like 2 feet deep.
Una's gonna walk over to the group and just be like, what are you guys looking at? She's just like looking at them all, look in the reflection like, it's a reflection, guys.
Una, you look down
What's
and you
up?
don't see a grung looking back at you. You see your original body, a gnome, looking back at you. The young child gnome that was murdered by the hags at the windmill.
Well, there's no place like Nome, is there? Huh. And Una is just gonna like kind of like poke her reflection with her finger in the water, just kind of like doesn't want to look at that.
As you're looking at your reflections now, I need everyone to make... No, never mind. You all in your head hear yourself say something to you. And it just says step in.
Oh, how big is this thing?
It's 2 feet deep, but it's about 6 feet in diameter.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
Ophelia knows best. She'll step in.
Ophelia, you guys watch as Ophelia is just... It's not forceful or tense. You guys just watch as Ophelia is slowly just descends beneath the surface of the water and disappears.
Lantern? What's going on with the lantern?
It goes with her.
Okay, when she goes underneath, it doesn't go out?
You can't tell, you don't see her anymore.
Shit.
Nesla, want to go together?
I'm going. I'll see you guys later.
And Bunsen goes in after her.
Alright, Bernard, you go in after, and you guys watch as Bernard just disappears beneath the surface of the water.
Put my paw out to Una.
Una's gonna take it and like climb on his shoulders and just be like, let's go.
Alright.
And I'll step off.
You all go through the water, and you're standing kind of in a clearing of a forest, the same shadowy forest, and as you all look around, Bernard is no longer a blue flame on his head, it's red. So if you want to reflect that on your character sheet, the boon that the Dark Powers gave you now goes away. The intelligence boost, I believe it was. Ophelia, you no longer have your flaming green eyes. You feel less corrupted. You don't feel like something has a hold on you. You can remove your boon of Tenebrous as a feat. Nesla, same goes for you. The one I gave you as a feat, you can remove that. The most interesting thing, though, is you guys all look at Una. She's no longer a grung, but a gnome. And Una, you get the sense that that gift you had of being resurrected every time you die is completely gone at this point.
Oh, cool, 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 cool. What's everyone looking at? And then Una, like, kind of like moves her arms around and realizes she's not a grung. Oh, oh, oh. Huh.
So you can change on your character sheet Forest Gnome.
Oh,
I'm just changing the race right now.
She's
You-
still her age, or is she back to a child?
So here's the funny thing. She's her current age. Yeah, she wouldn't go back to when she died when she was like 10 years old. No, it's her current age. And you guys are all kind of sitting in this clearing together. Nesla, you can... Well, you still can't feel your heartbeat because you're still dead, but...
Does Bernard feel any different?
You feel definitely, like, lighter. There is definitely something clinging to you that you don't feel anymore.
My intelligence dropped from 20 to 18 with that, but I imagine it's just like I had certain information, but now it's just like gone to time.
Yeah.
Okay.
is everybody okay? Are all of you all right? You feeling good?
For the first time in a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, you're looking better. You look... Huh. Well, yeah, let's get moving, right? Yeah. Well, where do we go now?
Look around.
Yeah. What do we see?
You guys see shadows moving around. They look like people. And as they're moving around, you can hear what sounds like metal hitting steel, like metal on metal, like swords hitting armor and then swords hitting flesh. And the shadows seem to drop like they're being killed by something you can't see. And the force kind of shifts to a sort of shadowy image of the city of Vallaki in Barovia, the day Ophelia and Bernard left.
Are we still holding our lanterns?
Yes. And they faded just a little bit.
Claws out, and I'm gonna kind of cradle my lantern.
Okay.
Doctor, it looks like this is Vallaki. About in the same shape it was when after we left Strahd.
After we left Strahd or after we left?
After we defeated
the year?
Strahd. After we defeated Strahd.
Mhm.
So before the year, like right when we started to set up
Okay.
roots
And
Before the year.
the shadows kind of manifest a little more now, and you see undead wearing white plate armor cutting down these people. And they all bear the same kind of marking on their armor, the Lady of Death, who had taken over Castle Ravenloft after Strahd's defeat.
Oh no.
That's fun. Mm-hmm.
And there's another kind of, you hear like another shift, and that shadowy, there's a different shadowy figure kind of standing beside you now, draped in a cloak of raven's feathers, and it's a blue-skinned tiefling with no horns, and half of their face is like blown off, and they're just like, they turn to you and you can see half their face, head is just missing, and they're like, your second test is a lesson, or guidance, whatever you prefer it to be.
Alright, where are we going?
Nowhere.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Bernard will
You
just have a look around.
You step through your reflections, and now it's time to reflect.
I mean, reflection is always good, but what are we reflecting on?
What you changed.
Alright, let's have a look around.
And the figure just disappears. And yeah, you see just people all over the streets screaming and crying. They're covered in blood and wounds. There's a mother cradling a body of a child and just crying over it. And yeah, you just see these undead soldiers moving around and cutting people down. And ahead of them, adorned in full plate armor, glowing, flaming blue eyes, is the very familiar sight of Lynn, now the Lady of Death. And she's cutting people down without remorse.
Oh boy.
Ophelia sees that. She's going to walk up to be right beside Bunsen and just kind of grab his hand and give it a little squeeze, like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I guess before we made it back there, or wait.
So does this look like, was I mistaken then that this is the Vallaki after we left?
This is
instead of the one right after we defeated Strahd?
This is after you left.
Okay, cool.
You can't hear people saying anything. It all just sounds like incessant, unintelligible whispering.
Mumbles, yeah.
And she's just, Lynn and these undead soldiers are just killing everyone in Vallaki.
Oh boy.
Did we cause this?
No, we didn't. I mean, we helped her get to where we helped her get to that spot, but none of us had any way of knowing what she was thinking or what she was planning to do. I mean, I think she was kind of tricked in the first place, but
And there's another kind of shift in the shadows, and that tiefling is now kind of standing beside you, Bernard. And just kind of rests a hand on your shoulder. This is where the Dark Powers get their strength. The Dark Lords.
by killing people? Or what do you mean, Valaki?
No. This is where the Dark Lords, or Dark Powers, rule through the Dark Lords. If you want to stop the Dark Powers, stopping the Dark Lords is a very good step as well. It'll weaken the Dark Powers significantly. When you killed Strahd, they're going to bring him back anyway. But you put a little wrench in their plans with Lynn. But unfortunately, she has to be stopped now as well.
Yeah. I suppose it's kind of good that Strahd's still flapping around now in an uncorrupted state.
The Dark Lord that was attached, the Dark Powers, corruption over him is still very much manifested. You saw the creature that escaped from his body.
Right. But I mean, Strahd himself kind of knows a lot of information. He's kind of valuable information.
Most likely.
Like, get her. What do you guys think? Doctor. Looks like we're gonna have to kill Leah.
Lynn.
Lynn.
Yep. I feel ya.
I don't think that the one sitting on the throne is Lynn anymore. I think Lynn has been long gone for
Yeah.
a long time
The
now.
shadow reforms beside you, Ophelia, and rests a hand on your shoulder and says, "The one you knew as Lynn is long dead. Died as soon as the Dark Powers claimed her."
Yep, kind of figured that. And she's like shifting out of
And
the
he
touch.
just, and he kind of fades, and with that realization, the scene shifts again, and you're all standing in an orphanage. And there's 43 children in a bed, and you're all kind of looking at these beds, and there's this male vampire kind of attending to them all. Like, are you okay? Is everything alright? Good. Don't worry, you'll get better. Everything will be better. The disease is nothing to worry about anymore, my children. And the vampire leaves the room and closes the door behind him.
I'm gonna go kneel down at the bed I was at earlier.
Okay.
I'm sorry, little one.
And the kid's just looking around, doesn't notice you, doesn't hear you, just looks around.
I'm sorry for the pain I caused you, and
And then the kid looks right at you, Nesla, in your eyes. It's okay. You didn't know.
I'll start crying and try to hug the kid.
You hug the kid, and he hugs you back. And then the scene shifts and changes. And you all disappear once again. The lanterns are significantly dimmer now. This time you're all standing in front I'm not gonna find it. We're setting in a forest again, but this one isn't made of shadows. It looks it looks like the forests that surround all of Barovia, Castle Ravenloft, Vallaki.
Bunsen will do a quick glance at all of that, but then look back to Nesla kind of kneeling down and go to put a hand on his back.
And that's when the scene changes.
Kind of dip forward and pick up my lantern, stand back up.
And you're all kind of at the edge of a forest. There's a shallow grave dug up. And there's a windmill nearby, deteriorated and rotting. And standing in front of the group is another little gnome boy, maybe 5 years old. And he's looking at Una specifically. If you want to end your curse, you have to kill the ones who started it. End it where it began. Pull it out by the root. Save all the other children that have been taken by them. You're muted.
You're muted.
Ooh.
We got
There
you.
you go.
There you go.
There we go, I think.
Yeah.
Una's just gonna walk up to
Okay.
him and be like, and she's just gonna kind of like stare at him because it's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Been a long time. She's gonna be like, okay. She's just gonna give him a hug, just kind of give him a big squeeze.
Okay. And that's when the scene shifts again. You guys are standing in a large library, and there's a massive 30-foot tall woman sitting there, gold hair flowing down her body, turning into her robes, and she's got a glowing blue eye on her forehead, and she's like, "Hello again, Bernard."
Oh,
Did you learn what you needed to learn?
well, from what I understand, I mean, we saw an orphanage. I know we have to destroy Lid. But I think I might need to talk to the others to figure out what some of the other stuff meant.
They each have their own lessons. That's all she says.
Okay,
And we're just in the forest again?
Nope, you're in her library.
Oh, am I here by myself?
No, you're with them. Your friends are with
Oh.
you.
this is a great place, right?
You guys, on the other hand, don't see anything. You just see a run-down, derelict library, and it looks like Bernard's talking to himself.
Yeah. Great place.
They can't see you, Bernard. They can't see any of this.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, we were on track to get, those shards for the sword. Is that still the right thing to do?
I can't tell you what the right thing to do is, Bernard.
Oh.
Only you know what the right thing to do is.
I mean, in the moment, yeah, but right. Well, what would you like me to do then? I mean, I'm ready. I think are we ready to go now? I mean, I'd like to.
Okay. She kind of just shifts back to your size and just plants a kiss on your forehead. And Bernard, you disappear. And you guys see Bernard disappear, and you guys all disappear as well. Ophelia, you're standing in the backyard of your home again. The other two are there. They just see you talking, you by yourself. But at the foot of the tree, Ophelia, you see the Raven Queen again.
Hi.
Hello.
Where did he go?
Back. He went back.
Back to Ravenloft or back to
Back
where
to
he came
Ravenloft.
from? Send me back.
So be it. And she gestures for you to follow her. And you guys see Ophelia just walking, not really
Yeah, I feel.
moving to anything specific, and Ophelia, you see another grave dug by the ones of your family.
Is it for me?
If you fail, yes.
Then I won't fail.
You may just save more than your soul if you complete this task. And she just looks at the graves, and you disappear, Ophelia. And then you guys shift again, Nesla and Una, you're back in that orphanage. And Nesla, you see that shadowy figure before you with the crown and the cloak, and he's just like, "Are you ready, Nesla? Did you learn what you needed to learn, hear what you needed to hear?"
I think so. I've got to move forward and do what I can with the future rather than the past.
Correct. And this shadowy kind of curtain envelops Nesla, and he disappears, leaving Una by herself, and the sheen changes once again. And Una, you're overlooking that shallow grave in the forest, and you're watching the hags put your bones in the grave and cover it with dirt. 3 of them, 3 hags. And they all lock eyes with you. "We know you're coming."
I have a bone to pick with all 3 of you.
And they just cackle and cackle, and you fall unconscious. And you all reawaken in the Ember Temple back in your bodies. Bernard, no blue flame. Ophelia, still missing an arm, but no green flames in her eyes. Nesla looks like Nesla. Nesla, you feel your heart beat. And Una looks like a little gnome.
Question.
Yeah.
Is Ophelia's arm bleeding?
No.
Okay. It's just
Is-
like she wakes up and it's just like whoosh.
Does this mean my alignment goes back to what it was
Yes.
before? Okay, cool. Tight.
And you look around and you see swirling black shadows inside the sarcophagi, and you just hear clapping. And approaching, you see the familiar form of Nemselis Kasam, the elf-looking individual with the porcelain mask, and goes, "Ah, did it go well?" Did it go well?
Does it look like it's morning?
Can't really tell.
I'm
bet
going
your mother.
to. I would like to investigate or try and figure out if that's really him.
Sure.
Because I don't know if it's daylight or not.
Give me an
and
insight check.
Two.
Looks just like him.
All right. We're good.
Did you succeed? Did it go well?
I think so.
Last time I came here
So
to
the
find you all,
sarcophagus.
none of you were here. So, I assume this is a good sign.
When are we?
You're still where I sent you. We have to go back now.
Okay. All right. Will anything have changed?
No. If we're lucky.
All right. So the specific ones, the things that were inhabiting us.
Yeah.
Are they in those sarcophagi now? Like Orcus, is he in that?
No.
No? Okay. I thought we might have.
You broke their influence over you. This is just their past version. The ones that are still free in your time need to be sealed away as well.
Okay. I thought. Alright. Sorry. When you sold us this idea, I thought we were sealing them all of them away.
I said specifically you were sealing them away in the past to learn the ritual to seal them away in the future.
Right. Right. Thank you.
And now the methods are known. But the Amber Temple is destroyed in your time, so this is all going to be very interesting to see how it unfolds.
I'm gonna walk over to him.
Mm-hmm.
Look back to everybody. We've got to make the most of the time we have.
Well then.
Alright, let's do it.
History will be, I guess the future will change slightly then. The Amber Temple's guardian will no longer be here. And he looks at Nesla. Alright. Everyone gather round, hold hands.
Oh. Shit. Hold on. Like, meta-wise, out of... Like, I was playing as Florian at the time. Did Nesla end up being that, like, tabaxi-looking magician that was throwing fireballs at us?
Wasn't a tabaxi.
Okay. It was like some other weird
Yeah,
race, right?
it was a
Okay.
Utaloth.
Okay. Sorry. I was like, what?
Nope.
My mind is just
connected
about
the
blown
dots.
right there. All right, cool.
Look at it this way.
That one was smoking a pipe too, so I was just like, oh fuck.
And now I wonder what is going to happen without the Amber Temple's guardian. History is definitely going to change. I didn't think of that. I was preparing for Nesla to stay behind and everything. Interesting. In all the timelines I've experienced, in all the timelines I've experienced, Nesla has stayed behind every single time. So this is very interesting. Alright, everyone.
That's good, yeah.
Gather hands.
I'm glad you're with us, Nesla.
I'll put my hands out.
You cast a spell. And you guys feel yourself being pulled through time again. And you reappear inside the carriage. Eminem Celis Kasam is not there.
Okay.
You're back in your armor. Obviously, you have really all your stuff.
Alright. Doctor, you and I, we know one of the things we need to do, we have to take out Lynn. What did you guys know? I mean, I talked to Ayun a bit, and I could really only tell her what I do, but it seems like some of you have some information that might help everyone. Una, did you learn anything?
No.
Muted again.
You're muted.
Muted.
Nesla, did you learn anything?
I believe my purpose is to free Ravenloft by whatever means necessary.
I saw that you were in an orphanage. What happened?
When I was younger, you saw the children.
Yeah.
That was my fault. I didn't think about my actions before I took them, and those children dying were my doing.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Believe that I have to continue to see the good in people. Similar to how I saw Strahd. But if I change the past, I may be changing this future. And I may not have ever seen the good in Strahd. I may not have seen the good in many people to come.
Any leads on what else we need to do?
Look like we need to take out the Dark Lords. At least the bodies they're possessing. Then we need to perform the ritual again.
Alright, okay. Okay. Do you think we need to do it after each time we kill them, or do we need to kill them all and then do it all at once?
I'm not sure. I think if I was doing this alone, I would go after the one that they showed us and then attempt to perform the ritual.
Yeah, which one was that?
Oh, Lynn, yeah.
Yeah, alright. Okay.
But since we're a group, I say we need to agree on a plan of action.
Yeah. More information. Una, what'd you get from that? Any other information that, I mean, you might have gathered from those seeds that we didn't? Yeah.
I just that was my brother who I saw by that grave, my grave. I have a couple bones to pick with some hags, which might change some things in the future.
Okay. So hags, multiple?
Multiple. 3.
Like- Ooh, a coven.
Yeah.
You got any? You seem to be a pretty good source of information on hags, Doctor. You know what we'd be going up against with him?
Honestly, cannot tell you until we see them.
They did kind of murder me, so there's that.
A lot of people have murdered you, though.
Yeah, but I was a kid when they murdered me, so kid murder's a little worse than adult murder on like the spectrum of murdering.
Oh no!
You know? Yeah.
Wait, did they? Are they the reason why you keep getting new bodies?
Not exactly sure.
Oh, that reminds me. I did say the curse only ends if the hags are taken out. So, Una,
Oh.
you feel yourself in your gnome body only briefly. And you guys watch as the gnome body just kind of explodes.
Oh no.
Oh.
Like a
Oh,
gory
okay.
mess. Just
Bunson's kind of like bent over, like talking
Yeah.
to her, and then face full of blood and meat.
and reforming in the meat is an 8-foot tall being. Bluish, kind of like grayish blue, more gray skin. Shoulder length, grayish white dreadlocks. Looks like areas of the body are grayish white, fur kind of poking out, cow-like ears, and a kind of like a flat cow-like nose.
Oh boy.
I love it.
The clothing stretches to fit, but it still fits more snug than anything.
I was wearing the cape of the
Oh, that's right,
Monster.
Montebank.
Yeah.
So and sitting on the floor in front of you is Una's new form as a furbolg.
How tall is she now?
8 feet.
So that's that's almost 1.5 feet taller than Bunsen.
And she weighs 750 pounds.
Damn boy, she's thick.
Hey.
So you can change your race to furbolg.
Yeah, dude. Now that you got all that sorted out, now you gotta change it again.
We're good. We're good. Gonna.
Oh boy.
Oh. She's just gonna stand up and just. I'm tall. Yes.
Yeah, I also have been through some pretty quick growth spurts. It's really strange. You could see, it feels like you could see almost everything from that height, right?
She's gonna pat Nesla on the head, just like, how's the weather down there, bro? Ha ha ha!
Oh no, how's it up there? My turn. And I'm gonna climb up your back.
Yeah, I like
Ophelia's
this.
feeling very short right now.
See, isn't it nice? Like, it's really nice when you can just ride somebody else.
And with that, we're going to go to a quick break.
Bernard blushes.
And with
Cut to
that,
break.
we're going to a quick break.